What's up, hair loss world? David here with Micropig SMP. I do something called scalp micropigmentation. I camouflage various degrees of hair loss through a light application of cosmetic tattooing. Okay, these impressions are done very superficially, and we dilute the pigment to avoid impressions that are overly rich and prone to discoloration. But before I go more into depth about that, this video is for students who are getting into the game. This video is for artists as well to help us explain to clients a lot better what scalp micropigmentation is, why we have our techniques, why we do it superficially. This video is going to break all of this down. So if we look here, right, we're showing you that light waves penetrate at different depths. Blue penetrates here, UV light, I don't know if you can see it, but you'll see it on the screen. UV light penetrates superficially, blue penetrates a little deeper, green penetrates a lot deeper, right? Your yellow, your red, and then your near infrared penetrates the deepest, okay? And then on this light wave spectrum, it keeps going. You have X-rays that penetrate to the bone, okay? So that's how waves penetrate. And it's all relative, even microwaves, okay? That's how we're able to cook our food. So boom, so now you know that, okay? Keep that in mind. Now let's talk about the pigment. The ingredients that go in the pigment. There are probably some pigments out there that aren't safe and aren't good, and they'll probably aid in discoloration, but it doesn't matter how good your pigment is, okay? Because what matters is how simplistic it is. You know, what is it made out of? And as you see here, the company that I use, it's simple ingredients in there. There's another company on YouTube that talks about this, but I'm going more in depth with it. They talk about the ingredients and what's really in the SMP inks. This is very important because we get questions about the ingredients all the time. So if you see here, you got, I don't know how to say that. I don't know. Okay, but it's alcohol, glycerin, some more alcohol, and pigment carbon black. It is a carbon soot, right? Carbon black does not know how to be anything other than black. It's black and it's proud. That's it. It's just black. It won't discolor. It won't change. It's not gonna be fake and be like Sammy Sosa and turn white. It's gonna be black and it's gonna stay black. So okay, you got good ingredients, but does that matter? If your SMP artist, right, is penetrating all the way down here with the impressions, right? Or he has, even if he's penetrating here and these impressions are overly rich and they're really dark impressions, once they subside a little bit more, what's going to happen? When the light waves penetrate the skin, right, you're going to see more blue hues and more green hues if he penetrates too deep. So over time, that's where the discoloration comes into play. So this is why we do it superficially. This is why we do it in sessions, right? We build up to it. And this is why we dilute our pigments, okay? Because we want to avoid impressions that are overly rich and prone to discoloration. And to go more into depth about this right here, right, we're already talking about how light waves penetrate. Well, what about skin tone? Skin tone is going to determine how much we're going to dilute the pigment. Why is that? This right here is from a government website. I just took a little snippet of it. So, does melanin affect skin thickness? They found that 5 times less UV reaches the upper dermis of black skin compared to white skin, and assume that was due to the increased melanin content. It's more efficient distribution and the thickness of the stratum corneum. So what does that mean? That means that melanin and your skin thickness has a direct correlation, and it is proportionate to the amount of pigment that's naturally in your skin. Okay, so now we know that. We know that darker skin, the more melanated your skin is, the thicker it is. And so this is why we dilute the pigment accordingly. So if you're really, really, really light skinned, we're diluting the pigment a whole lot. Okay, right? We're diluting the pigment a whole lot. We're creating a light application because over the course of a few years, when the pigment subsides, you won't have to worry about this green and blue effect because it is just a light application done superficially. This is why it's done in sessions. Okay, we do your first session. You have to come back in a week. It's going to lighten. Then you come back for your second session. It's going to lighten some more. But each time we apply the impressions, you're going to get more and more retention. That's just to kind of give you an idea of how this works and how we go about it.